Hey you guys, welcome to my flowing tutorial. So this is actually string art with a twist. We are going to do something that's similar to a flow or a pour painting, but we're going to be using the string instead. So I'm just going to go through what is in your kit. Okay, so each kit is going to have a 10 by 8 canvas. You're going to have some stir sticks, your string, you're going to have some thumbtacks. Now this stuff in the white container, this is called Floetrol. This is a latex-based paint preservative conditioner. It also helps with the flow so that your paint can move across your canvas. And then of course I gave you the 3 primary colors, so if there's a color that you want, you know how to mix it up, right? Yellow and blue is green, yellow and red is orange, blue and red is purple, and so on. So if you want a different color, you can mix these in their cups, okay? Also in your kit, remember you've got your scratch-off ticket for a little prize. So before you get started, you're going to want to get some water just in case. And you're also going to want some paper towels. And before you start working, your parents probably would not appreciate if the paint got everywhere. So if you've got a plastic garbage bag, go ahead and lay it down on your work surface before you start. Okay? So the first thing you're going to want to do is to get your canvas ready, and that's what the thumbtacks are for. What you want to do is basically you're making table legs for your canvas. Whoop! And I dropped tacks all over the place. So since the paint is going to flow off the side, and when you let it dry, it's going to drip. So what you want to do is put these thumbtacks on the back, and this will act as table legs so that while the leftover paint is dripping off the side, you're basically not going to be gluing your picture to your table or to your plastic bag. So you just put the thumbtacks in the corner, and now you flip it over, and you've got, you know, little table legs. Let's see. So now it's up off the table. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my surface ready, and then we will show you how this works. Okay. Alright, so if your paint is anything like mine, it got a little dry in the cup. So you're going to take a little bit of water. If your paint's dried out, put a little in and give it a stir. So I'm going to do that right now before I put my Floetrol in there. So I'm just going to give it just the tiniest little drip. Now you don't have to do this if your paints aren't dried out, but mine kind of did dry out just a little bit. So just a tiny bit of water. Grab your stir stick. Give it a mix. And this is just if your paints got dried. Okay. I'm going to want this for later, so get a different stick and stir up your orange, or sorry, your yellow. And now the red. And the water won't hurt this at all because you actually want your paints to be fairly wet so that they flow across your picture. And then when we come back, after I clean my shirt because I just got a little bit of paint on it, I'll show you what you're going to want to do with the Floetrol. Okay, so your next step is to take 1 cup of Floetrol and just equally add it to your 3 colors. The other 2 you need to save for later, so don't use all 3, just 1. I'm just going to open it up. Try not to make too big of a mess. Alright, so just 1 at a time, put a little bit of Floetrol into each cup. Okay, so that's all you need to do for the first step. Now with your stick, go ahead and mix it all up. Man, I am just like making a huge mess this morning. Okay, like that. Oh my gosh. All right, don't do this at home. Look at that. Oh my goodness. But that's why we have paper towels. Okay, now for the red. Now you can see why I wanted to put down a plastic bag on my work surface. But crafting is kind of fun when it's messy. And I think I know why, because these cups have a little ridge at the bottom and my stick keeps catching on it. Just like that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's just put these over here. And now for the blue. See if I can actually do this without making a mess. Now if you want to mix any of these together to get different colors, now would be the time to do it. I'm just going to stick with the primary colors. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to move these up to the top and get this stuff out of my way. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is take your string and you're going to put it in your color cups. So I gave you 3, but I only have 2, and that is okay, because what you can do is if you want a smaller bit, you can always pull your string apart. Okay. Now this is actually 4 smaller strands that have been wrapped together. So I'm actually just going to take this guy completely apart. I think I might do more than just 3 colors. So I might take a couple of these later and do a couple secondary colors just for the heck of it. Let's see if I can get this one apart. Maybe. There we go. And there's that. Alright. That should be enough string. So, you can take your strings and soak them in the cups. Okay, now try not to swirl these while you put the sticks in, because you don't want them to get tangled. And untangling them when they're covered with paint is not fun. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is grab our canvas and the rest of our Floetrol. Okay. So what we're going to do next with the Floetrol is we are just going to cover the entire surface. Then one by one we're going to take our strings and lay it down. And then we're going to pull our strings off. And I have one thing that I forgot to tell you about, and that is the straw. You'll need this for one of your last steps. Okay, so let's get started. So take your Floetrol, and we're just going to dump it on the canvas. And if you've got a clean end of stick, you can scrape out any excess if you want. The more the better, because you want this to flow over your entire canvas. And there should definitely be enough Floetrol in here to do it. Okay. So if you have a fairly clean stick, you can even use the stick to push it around. But you want it to cover the entire thing. Now if you don't want to use the stick, you can also pick it up and just tilt it around. Like this. So you just let it completely flow across your canvas. And that is why we've got a bag on the table, because it gets kind of messy. And then try to get this to go across over to here. Use the stick and push it over so that it covers the whole thing. Alright, so now that that's on there, you're going to grab your strings one at a time and lay it on your canvas in any kind of a pattern you want to do, and leave the tail off to the side. Okay, so let's put the yellow over here. Maybe put it there, give it a swirling pattern. And now for your red. Woo! My red got a little tangled. Here we go. And now for the red. And I am going to mix the red with the blue a little bit. So I'm going to put it just like that. Now the next step, and I'm going to grab a garbage bag, or a garbage can, is I'm going to take all three of the strings and pull. And directly into the garbage. Now you can either let this stay like that. I think it's kind of pretty. You can also take your straw and blow on it. Try not to get my shirt in the paint here. Alright, so if you like the way that this looks, you can leave it as so, or if you want to change it up even more, you can take your painting, hold it up, and let it flow. But I'm actually kind of liking the way this looks, so I'm not going to do too much of the flowing. And I think I'm going to leave it just like that. Now this is going to take a little bit of time to dry, so wherever you work on this, make sure that you and your family don't need the table for later. So we're just going to let this dry. You can even take your stick and push some of the paint around on the edges so that you don't have blank canvas off the side. Okay, and I think this side's pretty okay.